being a college athlete, you played at Oklahoma State, played defensive line there. Being a college athlete, kind of being in that light at a bigger school, could you just talk about maybe expectations college athletes have?
Biggest expectations I feel like the our athletes have is just building their image. You know what I mean? They just got to keep an image up and expectation. You coming there to be the guy. I mean, that's just the biggest thing. Day one is it's gonna take a key work ethic and focus. I mean, you got to know the reason why you're there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just focusing on what's important and what's not important. So
And talking about focusing on the what's important and what's not important, when you say something like that, how can just kind of slightly veering off, getting in trouble in any type of way, just kind of hinder the process of what you may have going good for you as an athlete?
I mean, it's just all start with your foundation and what's, like I said, what's important. It's big, how you was raised or where you come from, and just the ultimate goal. If you know your ultimate goal and what you're trying to get, the outside noise, and yeah, you're gonna have temptations. When I was in college, you had temptation, but you also got to have a foundation to know, okay, I got to get back on my grind and what's really important. What's the end goal? Is it just to go party and do what you need to do and mess over your life, or is it just to go set yourself up and your family for the future? Your parents, I don't know, everybody background is different. So, it's just your upbringing, what's important. I mean, you faced with all these challenges and stuff in college, girls, money, cars, especially nowadays with the NIL and all the money they
Yeah.
got. But it's just what's important, man. You got to focus on your why you do stuff. So,
And, sticking to that important factor, how important is it to just have a conscience when you're an athlete? The lights, they're going to be on you at all times, whether you want it or not. That attention is going to find you. So, how important is it to just have that conscience to know, like, let me chill out, let me do this, not do that, stuff like that?
it's very important. You got to have some type of conscience at some point. You can't go through this thing and I'm a realist, and I know that stuff comes your way, but at the end of the day, you got to know what consequences come with it. When the decisions you're making, is every decision you make gonna be the right decision? Probably not. But at the end of the day, if you got a good enough conscience and a good enough mind, and you're working on yourself, you're able to get through those things. Mental health is a big thing with college athletes and just athletes in period. What I'm saying? You got to deal with those things every day. You got to have somebody that friends and maybe a coach you trust and people like that to keep you on your game and make you feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So you know so it's one of those things you just gotta face. So
And when it comes to the effects, the consequences, like you said, of getting in trouble, if you have plans to go to the league, you had your stint where you got to the league. How can that affect those plans as well, if they do?
man, they can affect it a big time. I mean, shoot, the guys, it's a dime a dozen. Yeah, it's only like one. I think it's like 1% that make it to the NFL. But then in the day, it's more guys coming every day. So it's just you got to figure out what makes you stand out. And if you make those consequences and those decisions early on, you're hurting yourself. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, you can come back from it, but it's just one of those things. It's just like you young, but you just got to make the right choices. I mean, because the NFL, man, they look at it as a business, man. How can we market this young man? We can't market this young man if he doing stuff off the field. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is this is your job now.
All right. It's your
What's your
livelihood.
resume? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your life. So you got to put up your resume and know it. When I look at Cameron Murray resume or anybody resume, they got to look, okay, he was a great player. What has he done? You know what I'm saying? What has he done in college that affected him now? You know what I'm saying? Because all it takes is, for instance, a guy that dealt with any type of off the field issues. What is it to say he gets to the NFL and does the same thing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you got to look at that guy's resume. If he getting better? Is he taking the steps to get into rehabilitation and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. To
Right.
really focus on what makes him his brand basically.
Right. And of course, like we know, two former athletes, me and you, anybody can bounce back. Like you can bounce
Yeah.
back from anything, but like you said, being the realest, people always might have that thought. in their head of what you did. But,
Yeah.
you know, speaking of that mental health as well, do you feel like just getting in trouble could affect you mentally? And that kind of takes away from what you do on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it plays a huge part. Mental health is a big thing in today's times for athletes, and mentally it can affect you. I mean, if you sit there and think about it, and you're like, okay, people always coming under my post saying I'm doing this and that, you know, you just got to take those steps and talk to somebody. I mean, that's the biggest thing with men and just in general for as athletes. Not wanting to talk to somebody. The biggest thing you talk to people and you get to the situation where you need to go and you take the steps, the right steps, you know what I'm saying, to get back to where you was going. I mean, it ain't no telling, where you can go, you know what I'm saying? But if you let that mental aspect play a huge part in your decision making and how you think, I mean, it can take you out, man. Your mind is the first thing that gives out. So, you got to work on that constantly every day. So,
Yeah, and this is the last question, Cam. So, uh, being an athlete, you know, that bounce back is serious. So it's not to say that nobody can ever come back from mistakes they've done, because everybody made a mistake. Like,
yeah.
it was a quote from Nick Saban talking about you want him to kick somebody out the team because they made a mistake. Like, nah, he's not gonna do that. He'd rather they learn. So when it comes to mistakes as star college athletes, I just lost my train of thought. So when it comes to mistakes as star college athletes, could you just speak about how, you know, it's all right to make a mistake as long as you get back on track?
Yeah.
So uh could you say something about that? Just like as far as getting back on track.
I mean, some coaches, they quick to kick guys off teams. I mean, I totally understand. You got an image you're trying to, uphold. But my biggest thing is, getting back on that track as a coach. Me being a coach now, like your job is to, influence and impact these young men. I mean, at the end of the day, that's your job. Football, yeah, that's the biggest thing. But are you getting them the proper help to get them back on track? You know what I'm saying? Do you have mental health stuff? Do you have players that been in the same situation as these guys? You have people coming to talk to them, on a regular basis. And the biggest thing, man, is it's hard if you've been doing this so long, getting away with stuff. You do need a situation where a coach comes and say, "Hey, man, look, you off this team." You know what I'm saying? Maybe that does help them get back on track. I don't know. But the biggest thing is, I mean, there's only so much you can do. So as a coach, I mean, you gotta set him up to some type of success. Yeah, he had success at the beginning, but what is going to take him to go down there? He went off the wrong path. Now can I get him back on that path? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he's a man, he's a young man. He got to make his own choices, his own decision. But some people need that extra little push. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's just the biggest thing is, as a coach, your morals and your standards and what your program and how you got it set up, your culture. You know what I'm saying? How
Right.
your culture is set up and how you want things. If it's a no tolerance policy, it's a no tolerance policy. I get it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you do let that kid go, can you also still be a coach and a friend and let them know, hey, I'm letting this kid go, but I'm trying to get you some help. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing. You don't want to burn bridges and stuff like that, but is it a situation where I can help them? You feel
Right.
me? So
And I'll take that back. This is the last question. So
you good.
you being at OSU, how is that atmosphere just as a college athlete?
I mean, the atmosphere is just second to none, man. It's just one of those things, and every university you got something at that university do. And I just think Oklahoma State is just different, man. I just think you come in there and play, and it's just the atmosphere, the program is a small town. You know what I mean? It's not really a big city. It's small town family vibe. And I mean, it's it's a good day to be a cowboy, you feel me? So, I got the shirt on, you know what I'm saying? But it's just what it is, man. It's a good atmosphere for sure, man. It's just one of those things. If you like, Cowboys and you like that orange and black, and it's just good atmosphere. At times it's a small town. You're like, man, ain't much to do, but at the end of the day, as an athlete, you come there for one goal, to get
Right.
your education, and, get as high as achievements if you can, get
Right.
to the level of being a professional. But overall, man, the atmosphere is great. Great city, great town, great people, great coaching staff. So that's it.